Hello, Pokemon fans! I'm Professor K.
And I'm Andrew from Poketopia.
And we're going to be going through the set review for Primal Clash. It's a little bit past due, but I think you guys will find that it's definitely quality. We went through quite a few of these cards, so we're going to talk about the ones that matter the most.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and now we will point out, just the cards, but we're not really going to talk about them unless they actually have, some competitive use or just interesting factors. Like, for instance, that Tangela right there. The Tangela, it looks cool, but nothing really much about it.
Yeah, I mean, with 160 plus cards in the set, it's just way too much to go through to go over every card. As it is, this is probably going to be a pretty long video, so we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yep.
So, like I said, we'll just kind of scroll through so you guys can see what cards here are on the screen. But we're not going to start with any of these until we get down to Sceptile. This Sceptile, as a matter of fact. This is the one with the Ancient trait. Omega Barrier. Whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, excluding Pokemon tools and stadium cards, prevent all damage... not damage.
Prevent all
effects of the card done to this Pokemon. It does have 2 attacks. Why don't you go ahead and go over those real quick?
Leaf Blade for 1 grass, 30 plus damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. Not really good. But then Power Poison for 2 grass and 1 colorless, 120 damage. Discard an energy attached to Sceptile. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. So you do lose 1 energy, but 120 damage and poison. Run that with Verbank. That's pretty decent, I think. Also, Muscle Band too.
Right. And the artwork on these cards, these Ancient Trait cards, is just phenomenal. I like the idea of getting these half art or 3/4 art cards into the sets now. It gives it a completely different feel compared to what we've been used to. So
yeah,
awesome.
It's like a very more realistic CGI.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way that the art has gone over the past couple of sets has just been improving drastically as it's gone by, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, and that Omega Barrier ability, that is good. Goodbye Lysander, Hypnotoxic Laser. Oh, so many cards just are rendered useless. Now, one thing I just wanted to point out, Breloom, he's a grass type. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while since he's actually been a grass type, but surprisingly, he only has fighting type energy costs.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot in the past with cards that have dual typings. They'll either get a benefit from attaching a different kind of energy, or they're just completely different energy requirements completely. So yeah, kind of interesting there. We got Trevenant EX. It will be the first EX that we're going to take a look at here. Grass type this time instead of being Psychic like we've seen in X and Y. The first attack is Dark Forest. It does 20 damage, and your opponent, the defending Pokemon, cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. So you're able to trap your opponent where they're at, even though it's only 20 damage. If you're just trying to set up for something, then that could be a good way to do it.
And then Wood Blast. Wood Blast is definitely really good in my opinion anyways. 50 plus damage for 3 colorless. This attack does 20 more damage for each grass energy. So essentially, grass type Keldeo minus the good ability.
Yep, exactly.
So, it could see some play, but just not really sure yet. We'll actually have to get our hands on the cards when Primal Clash actually does come out.
Yes, and that's not going to be until February 4th. So we're looking at almost 2 months before this set actually comes out in English. And actually, ironically, 2 days after my birthday, so that's kind of cool. Late birthday present.
Yeah, so that Macargo, it is an Ancient trait. Now, I believe, if you could click on it real quick, that is an uncommon rather than a common. It has Omega Barrier, so we don't really need to go over that since we already talked about it. But for a fire and a colorless, Ram does 30 damage, and then Undying Flame, 60 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is Pokemon EX. This attack does 60 more damage.
That's pretty good. I mean, 120 damage is pretty decent when you're considering just 2 energy attachments. So that's not too bad. So that is another one of our Ancient Trait cards. And moving on here, here's one that's completely useless for its ability, or the Ancient Trait. Multi-Strike, being able to hit twice for 20 and flip a coin if tails the attack does nothing. It just seems like that particular Ancient Trait was kind of wasted on Torchic, even though he does look really cool.
It looks really amazing. I think they literally only did it just because Blaziken is a fan favorite.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he already got a holo too, which is the next card we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
Blaziken, 140 HP. For 1 fire, Flame Spread, attach 2 fire energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So, you know, that could be a decent starting off point. And then Heat Blow. For a fire and a colorless, 100 damage, discard an energy attached to this Pokemon. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. Sacrificing 1 energy for 100 damage is really, really awesome. It does not take long to power up. The only disadvantage that this card has is that Stage 2 up there in the corner. I feel like Stage 2s are still a little bit slow, even with Rare Candy. In the format that we're in right now, it just seems like a speed format. But this set could be a game changer. There's a lot of playable Stage 2s if you can just get them set up.
Yeah, especially with the ones that have ancient traits on them, because the ancient traits definitely make it like a lot more viable for use for the slowness.
Yeah, definitely. So our next EX here we're going to take a look at is Camerupt EX, 180 HP fire type. Rolling attack does 30 damage. Flip coin if heads, that does 30 more damage. And Implosion, 50 damage. You may discard as many fire energies as attached to this Pokemon as you like. It does 50 damage more for each of the fire energy that you discard. So you could hit for 200 if you've got 4 attached to it. If you've got more, which most of the time I wouldn't see why you'd have so many more attached, but you could potentially knock something out with it.
So, I mean, you could run it with Emboar. I know that would be another stage 2 to run, but, I mean, essentially just same thing as like what you would do with Blastoise. You would just attach a bunch to Keldeo and do the attacks, but this you're actually discarding, but hey. Or, no, not Keldeo. I was thinking Black Ballista, I believe.
Black Kyurem. Yep, kind of the same thing, but you get to choose how many you want to discard.
Yeah.
Alright, another one of the Ancient Trait Pokemon here is this Electrike, and it's just kind of the same thing.
Yeah, useless, but he looks cool.
He does look cool. Omega Berry is still a really awesome Ancient Trait, in my opinion. One of the best ones, for sure. Alright, what's the next one we're going to take a look at here? Looks like we're going to take a look at this Nidoqueen Ancient Trait next. Yeah. We got Multi-Strike. This is the first Pokemon that we see with Multi-Strike so far that actually has some potential use. Being able to hit Poison Jab for 30 damage and using Multi-Strike 60, and the opponent's Pokemon is now poisoned. If you get a Muscle Band in there, you're hitting twice because you are attacking 2 separate attacks. We're talking 50 damage times 2 is 100, and then poison as well with Verbank 130 for a single energy. I mean, that's pretty good. Again, we're talking Stage 2, but regardless, it's still really good. And even the second attack, even though you're doing damage to yourself, obviously you're going to do 40 to yourself if you choose to use Multi-Strike. You are hitting for 140, but if you've got that Muscle Band attached, 180 knocks out any Pokemon EX, so that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I mean, you are doing 40 to yourself, but when you're knocking out their Pokemon EX that they've been building up for a couple turns, it might see some play.
Could be a game changer, that's for sure. Alright, so next we're going to take a look at this Rhyperior, not that one, this one.
I believe that Rhyperior is just an uncommon.
Yep. So we got this one. This one is this one's a rare.
So the one interesting thing about the rares, as well as the Sceptile was a rare as well, that they are completely hollow over the entire card except for the Pokemon itself. So it creates a very nice looking hollow.
That is pretty cool, indeed. So this one obviously has the same Ancient Trait there with Omega Barrier, being able to prevent the effects of trainer cards, except Pokemon Tools and Stadium cards. Rock Wall is the ability. As long as this Pokemon's in play, all of your Pokemon take 10 less damage from your opponent's attacks. You could stack these, but again, I mean, why would you stack Stage 2s on the bench for 10 less damage? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
But Hammer Arm, 100 damage. Your opponent discards 1 card from the top of their deck for 2 fighting and 2 colorless. It's not that great overall, but
if it was 2 fighting and 1 colorless, I could see it being a little bit better, but yeah, that's just very, very costly.
Yeah, for sure.
And then next we have Medicham, the not the Ancient Trait one, the other one, because that is technically a rare. It's weird. It doesn't look like a rare, but it is.
Yeah, sure is.
It's decent. Now, Pure Power, that's actually interesting. For a fighting, place 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. That's normally an attack that you would normally only see on Psychic Pokemon in the form of Cursed Drops. Yep. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that it had an attack like that.
It is, because that's kind of like the shout to the secondary typing of Medicham as well. So that's kind of cool.
And then Pinwheel Kick, not really good.
Yep. So Medicham here with the Ancient trait.
Is actually just an uncommon.
Yeah, this one is an uncommon. That is kind of strange.
But
how that works. Again, we're going with multi-strike, but this one has another really great potential to make use of that with Yoga Kick, 30 damage, and it's not affected by weakness or resistance. So again, we're looking at 30, attach a strong energy, 50, muscle band, 70, times 2, 140. You know, you could...
Fighting Stadium in play.
That's... Fighting Stadium in play too, that's 90, and then 180. Mm-hmm. So it has unlimited potential there. I mean, the fighting typing obviously has a lot. And the other interesting thing there is, you know, even if you go the Silver Bangle, you're able to knock out... let's see here. What's the Mega? There is a Mega that's only got like 100 and... Oh, Mega Diancie. If anybody were to choose it, you could actually knock out a Mega Diancie with this thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have a Spirit Link, so they wasted a turn to just get it one-hit KO'd by Medicham.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So that's it for that one. Moving on, we're going to go down to Solrock next.
Yeah, Solrock was actually really interesting. For one colorless, Solar Generate. Search your deck for 2 special energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. It's not really, you know, the best, but it's just interesting. I don't think I've ever seen an attack where it says, look for special energy cards.
Yeah, that is completely new, and I think even if you do take a one-hit knockout on Solrock, it could be worth it to get those special energy cards, especially if you're running a fighting deck.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, Groudon and Primal Groudon EX.
This set's mascot for the Gaia Volcano, half of it anyways.
Yes, Groudon EX. Ripclaw, 30 damage, flip a coin if heads, discard an energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, or active Pokemon, and Super Cleave for 3 fighting and a colorless. Does 130 damage. This is another card that can take very big advantage of the fighting energy, the strong energy, being of the fighting type. I just feel like there's such an ability to abuse that power. But
yeah, I mean, it is really costly, but you could do it.
It is possible. And then with Primal Groudon EX, the same thing with the Omega Barrier. You can't even get Enhanced Hammered for strong energy away from it. Lasers, obviously, Lysander, none of this stuff affects this. So if you're able to Mega Evolve with the Spirit Link, and you do it in enough time, you can keep everything in play without having to worry about it being called up off the bench. And you can power it up to take advantage of this amazing attack. Gaia Volcano, 100 damage, and a Stadium card in play activates another 100 damage. So 200, and you have access to the strong energy. Even if you can't get the Spirit Link off, you're one-hit knocking out just about everything.
Yeah, and though you have to discard the Stadium, that's not really that big of a drawback for 200 damage.
No, I wouldn't think so at all. Especially if you've got a Lysander in play and you're able to knock out a Pokemon that they've been waiting on the bench, powering up ready for you, get them by surprise, take that card out. It could be a complete game-changing move, so that's kind of interesting.
Next up, we got Hippowdon.
This one?
I think it looks cool. It's not really good, but it is technically a rare, so they thought it would be good enough to consider it a rare. But it's not really that good. Fighting 2 colorless, desert resistance, 60 damage during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage from attacks of your opponent's Pokemon EX done to this Pokemon. So that's not really bad, but it's not really good.
Yeah.
And then Double Edge for 4 energy, really 100 damage, and then 22 itself. Like, that's bad.
Awful. Yeah,
but
and it's hollow too.
Yeah, the hollow, like I've seen it in video from people opening it up. The hollow looks beautiful.
I can imagine. I mean, I love the way that they've got this. Like, he's using Sandstream here.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But just not a good card.
Nope. All right, so here we've got a fighting type Diggersby for the first time. There's been normal type in the past so far since X and Y. Excavate, flip a coin until you get tails. Discard 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck for each head, so it acts as a mill, an addition in a mill deck. And Smash for 3 colors, 70 damage, which isn't necessarily all that great. It's just kind of cool to see him as a fighting type, and if you're looking to deck out your opponent as kind of a troll deck, this might be a good addition to it.
Yeah, I think Excavate could definitely be a nice mill deck. Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to take a look here at our first Steel-type Pokemon to get a Mega in the TCG, Aggron EX. We got Metal and 2 colorless, Steel Headbutt, 50 damage. Flip a coin, if heads it does 30 more damage.
And then Raging Hammer for 2 metal, 2 colorless, 60 plus damage, and it does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. That is just, no, just not good. I mean, the only potential I could see is if you're running it with maybe Celebi EX or one of the new stadiums, Memory Shrine, I believe it's called. We'll get to that later. But I mean, maybe if you have him, you know, the 240 beefy Mega Aggron and using the old attack, I could see that possibly being good because I just don't know. It just doesn't seem that good.
No.
By itself, anyways.
Mega Aggron EX does have some potential there. It's just, I don't like running cards that are based on a coin flip. There is a very high risk, high reward thing with this Pokemon though. Megaton Slam for 2 metal and 2 colorless, 120 damage. You may flip a coin. If heads, it does 120 more damage. So you're knocking out everything in play on a heads except for a Wailord EX, which is really funny. If tails, though, it does do 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. So if you run a Mr. Mime or a Mountain Ring or something, you would be guaranteed to not do that damage. But 120 damage with the ability of hitting 120 more might be enough to get it in play, maybe with Bronzong or something like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
It's just, it's costly and high risk, high reward. Even with a Spirit Link, that might not be one of the most played megas, but we'll just have to see. Maybe someone can make a deck where it works.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking in a metagame where consistency is key to victory. I just don't see consistent players using that. But we'll see what happens. All right, so we got an Excadrill here.
Which is a rare holo. So it actually does look very nice. I have seen that one as well. It looks very good. It has the Omega Multi-Strike, so you can attack twice. And the one thing that I think we forgot to point out is that if you knock out the opponent's active Pokemon, you can hit the next active Pokemon with the second attack.
Right.
That's one thing that I think is really cool. I mean, generally, you're probably not going to be able to do that, but, you know, whatever. But, so, for its attacks, Boar, colorless, search your deck for up to 2 energy cards, so just energy, though, so that does include special energy, and attach them to this Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards.
Okay, and nice thing about that is you can take advantage of the new metal energy as well to use that. For a metal and 2 colorless, Mach Claw, 50 damage, don't apply weakness or don't apply resistance for this attack's damage. Yeah, you can apply weakness, just not resistance, so that's kind of cool. It goes through stuff like that. Alright, next we're going to look at Aegislash, it looks like.
Yes.
Aegislash is kind of interesting. Stage 2, Miracle Guard. Each of your Pokemon has no weakness. So that could really help up in a lot of matches where you would normally be at a disadvantage, especially if you're going against fire with a steel deck.
Exactly. And then with its attack, you're probably not going to use it for its attack. Metal, 2 colorless, protect charge, 80 damage during your next turn. Any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks is reduced by 20 after applying weakness and resistance. So not really good for the attack, but that ability could be pretty good.
Could be. Flygon here has an ability, Sandflap. Once during your turn before you attack, you may choose either yourself or the opponent. The chosen player returns his or her hand to the deck and shuffles, draws 4 after that.
And that is actually a holo. You can't see it, but it is a holo. And I don't remember seeing this one. But, I mean, Flygon deserves a holo.
Yeah, Flygon always does.
He didn't get that mega, but hey, he can get a holo.
Yep. And it is a rare as well, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at this Bouffalant.
Yeah, the Bouffalant I thought was very interesting. I don't know why they did this, but it's cool. Herbivore for its ability. This Pokemon's attacks do an additional 40 damage to your opponent's grass Pokemon.
That is rather interesting. It's like they're eating the grass Pokemon. I mean, I guess if you think about it, you know, cows, bulls, whatever, buffalo eating grass, I guess it only makes sense. So, you know, you're turning 80 damage into 120 right away with Muscle Band and 140, so it's interesting. Bouffalant is kind of a cool Pokemon. It seems like it's always had some kind of decent attack in the printings that it's had so far.
Yeah, and also you get to discard a special energy attached to the active, so that could be good as well.
Yep, just 3 colorless energy, and you're hitting for possibly 140 and a special energy gone as well. Not bad. Not bad at all.
No.
Alright, let's see here. We got the... What are we looking at? Oh, Bunnelby.
Yes.
Bunnelby, multi-strike, again, for this Pokemon. So you're able to use both of these attacks twice.
But I think mainly you would want to use it for the first one, Dig Dig, which is really weird name, just Dig Dig.
Yep. That'll probably get changed in the English
I wish they would
translation.
have changed it to Dig Dug. That would have been so much better.
I'm pretty sure they'll probably change it in the English translation. They seem to not stick with them.
Yeah, but discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So hey, run it with that fighting type Diggersby, and you know, before you evolve him, you know, just dig.
2 cards gone.
2 cards gone, and then you can do Excavate. So,
Yeah.
I think that will definitely see some play for mill decks as well. Just really good.
Yeah, definitely. Cultivate. Search your discard pile for a card, reveal it, put it on top of your deck, and shuffle it. So it's pal pad for any card that you want. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. And then now moving into the trainers. Acrobite. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose 1 card, put it into your hand, discard the other. Well, put it into your hand. Oh, and then, wait, I thought Acrobite, the other part of the text was saying that you have to, after you shuffle your deck, when you discard the other, you have to put it on top of your deck.
No, it looks like it's just saying discard the other card, so it acts as a battle compressor / computer search.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, I completely got it mixed up with the Swampert. The Swampert lets you put the card on top of your deck. That one lets you get the card, so...
There you go.
Okay.
Alright, so Rare Candy is a reprint, obviously. This one looks like the old one. The name of the set is completely leaving me right now. I can't remember what it is. But there is an older Rare Candy that looks very similar to this. So that's just a reprint. Repeat Ball is brand new, though. Search your deck for 1 Pokemon that has the same name as a Pokemon you have in play, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So if you run a 4 of any major attacker, this is definitely a good ball to have. And I feel like it's really awesome to see the return of ball cards, because we lost Level Ball, we lost, what was the other one?
Heavy Ball.
Heavy Ball. Level Ball, Heavy Ball, both were gone, so it kind of left an open space, and I feel like this set is finally going to fill that with things like Repeat Ball, and one more that we're going to get into here in a minute.
Oh yeah, that one's going to definitely be good. We got Weakness Policy, new tool card. The Pokemon this card is attached to has no weakness, so if you don't want to run Stage 3 Aegislash, hey, just pop this tool on if you don't plan on running a tool. You know, why not? I mean, yeah, Startling Megaphone exists, but tools still are very viable.
I hope nobody's running a Stage 3 Pokemon.
I'm an idiot. I was thinking that...
Oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, if anybody's using the Stage 2 Aegislash, kind of funny. Alright, so we're going to look at... We've got a couple of Spirit Link cards here, very straightforward. By now, we know what the Spirit Links do for Groudon and Aggron. We'll just kind of skim through those real quick and get to Teammates. This card cannot be played unless one of your Pokemon or more, I'm assuming that's what that means by any of your Pokemon, were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. So if one of your Pokemon got knocked out, you can play this card and search your deck for up to 2 cards, put them into your hand, computer search on steroids in supporter form.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is the condition that you have to have a Pokemon knocked out on your opponent's last turn, but 2 of any card, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
It is.
So we got Maxie's Hidden Trick. Now, this is really interesting. You can only play it if it's the only card in your hand, but you get to put a fighting Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, then draw 5 cards. And now you'll be able to see it on PokeBeach. But it doesn't say basic. You could put a Stage 1 or a Stage 2, maybe a Stage 3 if those exist. But no, I mean, you could essentially just have, hey, Primal Groudon EX in the discard pile. Hey, you're on the bench now.
Yep.
That's nuts, but that's why it has such the big drawback of can only play it if it's the only card in your hand.
And it actually can happen more times than what you think. I mean, it does seem like a low probability, but there's plenty of times I've been down to 1 card and it's been a supporter, so it's not entirely impossible. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of different Stadium cards in this set. The first 2 we'll be taking a look at are Memory Shrine and Scorching Earth. Memory Shrine, each of your evolved Pokemon in play can use any of its attacks from the previous evolutions, but you still need the necessary energy to use the attack, so it's Celebi EX in Stadium form.
Mm-hmm. Like, I do think it is good that we still have Celebi EX, just because sometimes you want to use Stadium for something else, but that's going to be good once Celebi EX is gone from the standard format.
Yep.
And then we have Scorching Earth. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a fighting or a fire energy from his or her hand. If they do, that player draws 2 cards. So that's nice to see draw support from something that's not Tropical Beach.
Or having just to draw what's the card? Oh, my
Fiery
Lord.
Torch.
Fiery Torch. There we go. You have the option of discarding a fighting energy as well, so that's kind of cool. And you can do it more than once. It's not just a item card. You know, saying while it's in play anyway. Shield energy. This is actually a card that was seen before.
They just rebranded it.
Yeah, they just rebranded it into a new card. You can only attach it to metal Pokemon, and it provides a metal energy while it's attached to a metal Pokemon, but damage is done by attacks to the Pokemon this shield energy is attached to is reduced by 10. Again, it's a complete remake of a previous energy.
That previous energy is exactly metal energy.
Yeah.
It was just special metal energy.
Special metal energy, yep. So we'll get into now looking at the full arts.
Just to appreciate how good they look. That Trevenant, though, looks so good. I mean, I love like what they did with his eye, like just to make it have that eerie glow. It looks good. He looks creepy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And
if I can get this to load up, I wanted to put 3 on the screen at the same time. There we go.
There we go.
This Groudon, oh
no, you lost him.
I lost him. There we go. This Groudon is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
The artwork is amazing on this thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how I feel about the yellow in the background, but I mean that doesn't matter when the rest of the card looks extremely amazing. And camera up, he looks cool, just not as cool as Groudon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Groudon. I mean camera up.
Camera up.
Hey, I'm a bunch of mess up today.
You definitely can't sit them next to each other, that's for sure. So now we're looking at Megas having full arts. That's incredible. We got the full art Aggron here and the Mega Aggron as well. Get them all lined up so you can get a nice good look at them. This man, Mega Aggron just looks so powerful.
It just I'm so happy that they did this instead of the crappy gold borders.
Yes, for
like,
sure.
They definitely listen to their fans, saying, "Hey, you guys don't like this? Well, we'll give you the full arts." Ooh, they look so good. And then moving on to the last full arts, we have Teammates and Maxie's Hidden Trick.
Yep, we already know what they do.
Yep, it's just appreciate the art. Just appreciate it. And then finally, we have the return of Secret Rare Trainers.
Yes, Weakness Policy and Switch are the first two here on and this half of the set anyways. I had forgotten that there's another whole half of the set to look at.
Yeah.
So
this has been going on for so long, and now we are moving on to Tidal Storm.
Yeah, Tidal Storm, you know, again, there's a lot of Pokemon here that really aren't worth looking at.
I actually think the Beedrill...
Where'd you skip? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the Beedrill Allergy Shock. During the your next turn, the defending Pokemon that was hit by this attack is knocked out.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you can prevent them from retreating, like, say, run it with Victory Bell, you know, attach a Grass Energy, and then discard it, you can poison them, and then Dragalge to prevent them from retreating. That way, the only way they can get out of being knocked out is if they have Switch cards.
Yeah, I mean, well, it does say the defending Pokemon that was hit by this attack, so it shouldn't matter where they're at. It doesn't have to be in the active spot by what it says, so it could just be...
Yeah, we'll have to see what the rulings would be for that.
Yeah. Okay, so next one, Ludicolo.
Yeah, I think it was more or less for his ability. He always has an ability revolving around Dance.
Yep. Once during your turn, you flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it. Oh, it's a catcher.
Yeah, just... Oh, yeah, exactly a catcher, because it has the coin flip.
Yeah, Pokemon catcher and ability.
His attack's not really good. Grass, colorless, 80 damage, heal 20 from each of your Pokemon. Not really something to look twice at. Next up, we have...
Let me just say real quick that is like the cutest Mudkip under a bridge I've ever seen.
Oh, if you scroll up, I think you may have went past it. No, you didn't. We'll get to the Spheal. The Spheal is probably one of the cutest Pokemon in this set. So, moving on to Swampert. Here is, I don't think we went over Alpha Growth yet.
No, because it's Tidal Storm now, so...
Yep.
Now we're looking at the Alpha-type Ancient Traits.
Yeah, Alpha Growth. Ooh, this is going to be such a broken ability. When you attach an energy card, and mind you, just an energy, not basic, just any energy, from your hand to this Pokemon, except with an attack ability, or I believe underneath that it says item card, to attach it, you may attach 2 energy cards. So, attaching 2 of any kind of energy per turn, that is so good and broken and just...
Even in Blastoise, most of the time you're not attaching more than 2 energy cards in a turn. You know, most of the time you're doing 2 with his ability, but I mean, this guarantees you 2 if you've got it, so that's kind of neat.
And then the thing is, he also has a great ability that goes with that Acrobite that I messed up on earlier. Diving Search. Once during your turn before your attack, you may search your deck for any one card, shuffle your deck, and then place that card on top of your deck. And then even his attack is pretty good.
Hydro Pump, yeah. 40 plus 30 more. You're talking 70, 130 for 3. Keldeo.
That's better than Keldeo's.
Yeah, better than Keldeo.
So he's overall, I think, a good Pokemon. And he's probably going to really help Stage 2 Pokemon out a lot.
Yeah. This Ludicolo with Alpha Heal. Whenever this Pokemon recovers HP, it recovers twice as much HP. I don't really think that it's a very good alpha trait. I don't see cards doing that very much. No. Yeah. Nope. So now we're going to look at Ditto Wailord EX.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, that face, that is a Ditto Wailord.
Oh my gosh, that thing looks so creepy.
He's so goofy looking.
Hi.
I'm Wailord, I got 250 HP.
Oh my gosh, that is just the ultimate wall. Goodbye all other walls. Just this is going to be played in every stall deck. Even if it's not even water, you're throwing it up there just because. 250 HP. That's 10 more than the biggest Primal or Mega.
Yeah, it's insane. And that attack is absolutely horrible. 120 damage for 5 water energy, and you put yourself to sleep. Even though the ability removes your special conditions when you attach energy. Wailord EX is just derp.
Yeah, that sucks, but hey, he's only made to be a wall, and that's pretty much all he's ever been made to be.
Yep. It's been a long time. I don't even know. Have we ever seen a Whiscash card?
I feel like there has been some Whiscash cards.
It could be. I don't. If there
just
is,
not
it's
many.
Just not memorable. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think Whiscash is probably a very forgettable Pokemon. Now, is that actually a rare or is it just an uncommon?
That one is an uncommon.
Wow.
But it does also take advantage of alpha growth as well. It seems like the water types here are just getting all kinds of love with that alpha growth so far.
I mean, he's really not that bad. I mean, if you did run a Mr. Mime or whatever, you could get him powered up turn 2 and do 120 damage, you know. Turn 2, 120 damage on Stage 1 Pokemon, that's not really that bad. It's not amazing because you're doing damage to yourself, but if you can prevent that, could see some play, possibly.
Milotic's got kind of an interesting ability with Shining Ripple. You may use this ability when you evolve one of your Pokemon into Milotic Air. Choose one card from your discard pile, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So that's kind of cool. And the artwork on this is actually... I love the brightness on this.
Oh, and it is a rare, so that will be a holo. A holo of that with the blue and the pink and purple. That's going to look like a beautiful card, unless they kind of, you know, take a bad turn and are like, hey, you know, this is just going to be a regular rare. Oh, look at that Spheal. Oh, I love that Spheal. He's derping pretty hard. He's high on life right now.
Yeah. I think he's had a little bit too much rare candy.
And then we don't even need to look at Walrein.
No. Huntail. There's a Pokemon that I have not seen or heard anything about in a long time.
Yeah, and he could actually be a decent Powerful Storm. For 1 water, 20 times damage, does 20 times for each energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So a water type...
Leafeon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to do the guaranteed water instead of a colorless, but that could be good.
Could be very good. Gorobus is another Pokemon. It just seems like those two I just never really knew or heard much about until, well, around this time, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like they're such forgettable Pokemon. Also takes advantage of that alpha growth as well. Confusion, 30 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. I think alpha growth is kind of wasted on this card as well, other than being able to do that immediate confusion.
Yeah, I mean... But, I mean, hey, that Torchic was more useless, so...
That is true. Torchic wins the prize for that one. Alright, so Kyogre EX.
Yeah. Water Pulse. Water in a colorless does 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. I mean, not really that great.
Nope. Giant Vortex, 140 damage. Return 2 water energy attached to this Pokemon to your hand. So, I mean, I don't really know if that would be very good or not. Other than taking advantage of alpha growth on something else if you really wanted to. if it's about to get knocked out or whatever the case may be. But you can still go into Primal Kyogre. I'm talking about Groudon. Primal Kyogre EX. It does have access to a Spirit Link, as you'll find out here in a little while. With that Alpha Growth, again, being able to do that if you wanted to. Tidal Storm, 150 damage. Move 2 energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon, and it does 30 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon EX.
I think that's powerful.
It is quite powerful.
And then throw a Muscle Band on that, or even a Silver Bangle if you want to run those. That's knocking out pretty much every Pokemon EX except for Megas and Primals, and to do 30 to each of the Pokemon EX on the bench, that is...
Yeah.
That's good.
The thing is, you can't attach a Silver Bangle because he's an EX. You can't attach Silver Bangles to Pokemon EX. Only Muscle Bands.
Nope. Oh, I did not know that. Hey, you learn something every day.
Yeah, but Silver Bangles can only be attached to regular Pokemon to hurt Pokemon EX. But you can attach a Muscle Band to it, but the only problem is you're probably going to have a Spirit Link attached to it. So unless you run Tool Retriever or Zoroark, you're just going to be able to do that 150, unfortunately, there. So you're going to come short of a one-hit knockout on a Pokemon EX, but if you happen to Lysander up something else, you could knock it out next turn with the same attack by hitting it for 30 on the bench, so it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Okay, going on down the line. Electric. This is the... this also has Alpha Heal. Jeez, I see this, I think Alpha Heal. I just don't see Pokemon needing to recover twice as much HP, especially when it's a 90 HP Pokemon anyways. Why are you even going to bother healing it?
Yeah.
Thrash, 50 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, it does 20 more damage. If tails, it does 20 damage to itself.
Terrible.
It is. It is. Why even bother wasting... I don't know. I don't get it.
But this Electros, though. Energy Connect. Choose one basic energy attached to your bench Pokemon and move it to your active Pokemon. This ability can be used any number of times during your turn. So, I mean...
Yveltal, Mewtwo.
Bronzong, like using that from the discard pile, that can be used in so many energy accelerating decks that require you to, you know, like you could even use that in Dynamortar decks for
Expanded. Yeah,
for Expanded. You could, you know, run one of those, and you know, you don't even have to bring your Rayquaza back. You can just attach to whatever and move them up. That's gonna be powerful. Tentacool. He looks really cool, but again, Alpha Heal, just don't see it being too useful. No. And Psycho Shot is terrible attack, but he looked really cool.
Yeah, so. And just if you're running a 60 HP Pokemon, depending on Alpha Heal to save you, it's gonna get one shot by so much. It's just not even worth it.
Yeah. Now there's just that one Starmie. There's nothing special about it other than that it is Psychic type. It hasn't been a Psychic type Pokemon in 11 years.
It's been that long.
11 years since it was a Psychic type on for the TCG.
And just for that, Synchro Star, 10 damage. If the number of energy attached to this Pokemon is the same as your opponent's active Pokemon, it does 60 more. So possibly 70 damage, but it's pretty unlikely you're going to have one energy attached on both most of the time. Alright, so Sharpedo EX.
He looks great.
Yeah, that is a really, really pretty dark type Pokemon, especially since they got the water involved in there as well.
Yeah, and look, you can see like saliva connecting from his teeth.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. The two attacks we got are Prowl After. Switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of his or her benched Pokemon, and it does 30 damage to the new Pokemon.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty decent. And then we have Jaggy Fang. That just sounds so ridiculous. Jaggy Fang for 2 darkness and a colorless, 100 damage. Discard 1 energy attached to this Pokemon, then discard 1 energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, you know,
sounds pretty jaggy.
Yeah, that is pretty jaggy.
Crowd Out Wild Pincers. When you play this Pokemon to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Kind of neat, I guess. There's a lot of energy discarding abilities and Pokemon, it sure seems like.
Yeah, it's like they bring in the Omega Barrier to stop you from playing Enhanced Hammers, but then it doesn't matter because you're giving all these Pokemon this. Now, Mr. Mime? Creepy.
Oh, don't let Pokemon Excavation hear you say that. That's her favorite Pokemon.
Sorry, that one just scares me to no end. I apologize, but that one just scares me so much.
You'll hear from Mimi later, I guess.
Oh, I will. Definitely will.
Alright, moving on down the line here. We got Fairy-type Meryl and Azumarill.
And then... has an ancient trait, but Alpha Heal, wasted. It's just, I don't picture it being good. But I mean, I guess, like, if it had better attacks, maybe I could see it, because I mean, you could play, you know, a potion and heal 40 damage from that, but no, just no, not a good ancient trait.
Nope. They should have put Alpha Heal on Wailord EX. Oh my
Oh my gosh, that would have been awful.
Okay, so yeah, Gardevoir EX.
The Gardevoir EX is actually could be decent, but I'm looking more at Mega Gardevoir. But Life Reeve, 20 damage, heal this Pokemon equal to the damage done to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's very confusing text, but yeah.
If you do 20, heal 20. If you got a Muscle Band, you do 40, heal 40, I guess.
Yeah. So, and then Shining Wind for 3 Fairy, which is pretty costly, but hey, you know, we have a Aromatisse. 100 damage, this Pokemon has no weakness during your opponent's next turn. Not really that bad. I mean, 3 energy for 100, you know, there are better options, but, you know, that's not that bad. But moving on to Mega Gardevoir, this is what we needed to save Fairy types. If you want to take it away.
Sure, yeah. It all depends on what the actual translation is. We had one translation saying that it's only the Fairy type energy attached to Mega Gardevoir, and this translation says Fairy energy attached to your Pokemon. So if it's everybody, this could be really good. 30 damage for each Fairy energy. You've automatically got 3 here, so that's 90. If you've got more on the field, 120, 150, 180, the damage is just limitless. So this could be the Fairy type attacker that it's looking for with a Spirit Link. It could be playable for once.
Yeah, so we're just going to have to see what happens in the English translation, and even with the English translation, it is very possible that there's some sort of ruling, but we'll just have to see. But even if we have to attach a bunch to Gardevoir, it's going to still be really good.
Yeah. Alright, we got Kingdra here, also with Alpha Growth as well. It has some very interesting attacks.
Yeah, it's very broken, I think, but we have Gather Strength for 1 colorless. Search your deck for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. 4!
Professor's Letter times 2.
Just for 1 colorless. That's pretty broken.
And with 130 HP, it does stand a pretty good chance of surviving a first attack, just to be able to use Dragon Blast later for 2 water and a lightning. 150 damage, choose a water and a lightning energy, and discard them.
But 150 damage. Now I can actually speak well about the Silver Bangle. Attach Silver Bangle to that. That's 180 damage.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful.
And then, since you have 4 energy cards in your hand, Alpha Growth, just attach those energy cards right back. Run Energy Retrieval, get those energy cards right out of the discard pile. That's going to be very broken. I can picture a lot of Kingdra decks.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take a quick look at this Delcatty here. Colorless, replace, move as many energy cards attached to your Pokemon to your other Pokemon any way you like. So you're able to do basically the same thing Electros does for a single colorless energy. And move energy around. Just 80 HP though.
Well, actually, this is any energy though, so rather than Electros is basic. So, but it still counts as your attack, and it's 80 on a stage 1. So, and then Play Rough. Don't really have to go into that. I just thought it was cool. I like it when they use video game attacks.
Yep. And our next card we're gonna take a look here. Say hello to your new Pokemon God, Bidoof.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a full binder of these, I promise. And it's a common, so I guarantee when Primal Clash actually comes out, you're probably all going to have just 100 of these. Please send them to me. I'll make a P.O. box. I just need a binder full of these.
Send it to Bidoof, Florida, zip code BIDOOF.
Don't really need to go into its attacks. No. It's just awesome.
Awesome looking card. So we got a reprint here in Escape Rope, but it looks much better than the current Escape Rope in my opinion. It's just really cool.
Looks a lot better. Freshwater set is actually interesting. Heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. So regular potion would take 30, but this is 20 off of everyone. So hey, that's pretty decent actually.
Too bad it doesn't heal as much HP as it does in the game. That'd be pretty cool. 20's not much compared to that, but still cool. So we got Dive Ball here, going into what I was talking about earlier by using new balls in the game. Dive Ball, search your deck for a water Pokemon and put it into your hand. Talk about new life for Blastoise. I mean, Level Ball got lost out there, but now
Yeah, but also, this is going to be a nightmare for Seismitoad decks.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing with Repeat Ball since it searches for same name, but this is more specific for Water-type Pokemon. Get some Seismitoad out there, get your Blastoise, all of those. Ugh, jeez. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And then
got
Experience Share.
Yeah, returning card that was rotated out of format. Now it is back. When your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from your opponent's attack, you may move... Oops, sorry about that. You may move one basic energy that was attached to the Pokemon to the Pokemon this card is attached to. So that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Got
our Spirit Links here, Kyogre, and Gardevoir.
Gardevoir looks like it should be hollow. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. I know that would suck to get that in the place of a hollow, but I don't think I would mind.
No, not at all.
There's something wrong with my voice right there for some reason.
Oh, we've been talking for quite some time. I know my voice is starting to go too. Archie's Trump card here. You may only play this card if it's the only one in your hand. It's the opposite of Maxi in that way. Not the opposite, but it's the same thing, just obviously Archie instead of Maxi. Put a water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench and draw 5 cards. Again, any water Pokemon. Doesn't matter if it's basic. Doesn't matter if it's a stage 1, a stage 2, a mega. It goes on the bench.
Yeah, that's, so I don't know if it will be played, but it could be pretty powerful.
Could be. Professor Birch's Observation, I think it'll take the place of either Shauna or Colress or N, whatever happens, once things get rotated out. Being able to flip, and if you hit heads, draw 7 cards. If tails, draw 4 cards after shuffling in your deck, obviously.
Yeah, so I mean, if you do replace it for Shauna, you have the possibility of losing 1 less card, but the possibility of getting the 3 more, that's pretty good. We have Ondulating Ocean. I think I pronounced that correctly. Once during each player's turn, he or she may heal 30 damage from each of his or her water and lightning Pokemon. So that's pretty interesting to include lightning Pokemon in that. But healing 30, that's, that's something,
It's considerable, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Silent Lab, all basic Pokemon in play in each player's hand and each player's discard pile have no abilities. Garbodor for basics. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and I mean, there are a lot of basics. Like, you can use that to your advantage with, if you're running more Stage 2 decks and whatever, you can do that. Shut off their basic Pokemon like EX that have that. So, something to consider. We have Wonder Energy. Can only be attached to Fairy-type Pokemon, provides Fairy-type energy while it's attached to a Fairy-type Pokemon. Prevents all effects excluding damage from your opponent's attacks done to this Pokemon, or done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. Any effects that are already applied do not go away. And, if it's attached to anything other than Fairy, discard it. So,
I kind of wish that you'd be able to get rid of the effects like you can with, like, Virizion or Slurpuff, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
now, Full Arts.
Full Arts, yes. And Wailord EX, all of a sudden, when it becomes Full Art, is no longer derp. It looks normal.
Yeah, look at that. Like, its eye isn't just the dot. It, like, actually has sort of the whites of the eyes.
Yeah,
and
it looks respectable.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going, hi, I'm Wailord.
And the only thing is, though, when you put it next to this guy, he's just nothing. Forget this guy. It's all about that guy right there.
Oh, yeah, Kyogre looks so... Jeez.
How does he have 70 more HP than him?
I have no idea. Because he's a whale.
Well, yeah, he kind of is, too.
Yeah, he's a whale, but I think Wailord's a little... He's the Whale Lord.
He's the Whale Lord. He's kind of like an orca.
Yeah.
So
with those creepy jagged teeth.
Yeah. Alright, we got Mega Kyogre over here and Sharpedo EX over here.
I think Sharpedo looks really, really good. I think Primal Kyogre looks better than Primal Groudon. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
But I just love the fact that we have Full Art Megas, Primals, and whatever. That Sharpedo, though,
yeah, that
looks
Jaws.
I think it looks just as good as the Full Art Manectric.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, this card is going to be the subject of a lot of people's interest, I'm sure. That Full Art Gardevoir and Full Art Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah, I mean, putting all jokes aside, I think the full art Gardevoir does look really good just from the colors and just how they designed it, pretty much.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. There's full art Gardevoir and full art Mega Gardevoir. Let's just move on to the next one. Archie's Trump card, awesome looking.
And then Professor Birch's research, it's pretty decent looking. You know, Professor Sycamore ain't getting no love, but you know, that's fine.
I don't understand. I figured by now that we would see full arts of maybe Professor Sycamore, Shauna.
I would cry for Shauna.
Yeah.
Full art. I'd cry.
I mean,
I'd openly weep to Pokemon.
So yeah, they look really cool.
And then the last cards of this entire set.
Yep, this is going to wrap it up here with Secret Rare Enhanced Hammer. It was only a matter of time before they did that one, but this one boggles my mind. Like, Dive Ball's in this set.
Well, so is Weakness Policy, though.
Yeah, that's true, too. It's just, I don't understand.
It's just weird. I don't understand why they would do that.
I don't either, but still,
it still looks cool. Yeah, it really does.
There you go.
And then the last thing I think we should talk about is, it's not on the screen right now, but if you do remember, we have talked about like the other news, and there is going to be a set late January 30th, I believe, that is Team Aqua versus Team Magma Double Crisis, and they Pokebeach has said that it is in the same style as the Radiant Collection. So I think, unless they do it like how they did Dragonfall, I think it is entirely possible we could have the subset inside of this set, like how we did with Legendary Treasures in the Radiant Collection. I would hope not, because this is going to be impossible to finish, especially, you know, for people like me that want to complete the Master Set. But I think that's definitely something to look forward to, either that mini set being its own thing, like I said, like Dragon Vault, or being within the set. And if that's the case, gonna get a couple booster boxes.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's either going to be its own standalone set, kind of like Dragon Vault, or it might even be included in the set coming up after that.
Emerald Break.
Yeah, Emerald Break. I don't know why. I almost said something else. Yeah, Emerald Break. So I feel like it's going to be in one of those two. I just don't see it being in this set. I mean, it's already so big as it is. You know, over at least 160 cards, and you know how sometimes the English sets get more than the Japanese sets. So it just doesn't make sense that it would be in here. If it is, I'm going to sell my house to buy boxes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to have to do, because I can't really sell my house. It's not really my house.
Exactly. So, all right.
We'll work for booster boxes.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of things for booster boxes, apparently. Sell a house, sell a computer, sell a car, sell whatever you can.
My body.
That's a whole nother conversation. So, alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this set review. Again, we know it's extremely long. If you sat through the whole thing, we really appreciate it.
We congratulate you.
Yes, congratulations, because this set is so big, it's ridiculous. As far as competitive stuff goes, I mean, it'll remain to be seen when the English translations come out, and we're more sure of what's going on. And when that comes out, you know, at least you can be sure that we'll be covering stuff like that in the near future. You know, so like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check out Poketopia. Obviously, Andrew across from me here. Thank you for coming in and doing this with me.
Yes, thank you. We're actually doing this at his house rather than over Skype.
Yeah, last time it was over Skype. This time he's over here, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and then be sure, everyone, to go check out the Pokemon Evolutionaries. You know, so... Oh man, this was a really long video.
It really is. I need to go get some water.
Oh, me too.
Anyways, guys, be sure to like this video. If you did like it, subscribe to the Poketopia and, of course, my channel, the Pokemon Evolutionaries, as well, for more Pokemon TCG content coming up in the near future. And comment down below if you got anything you'd like to say. You know, whichever one of these channels you're seeing it on, because we are going to be uploading it to both of our respective channels. So whoever you happen to see it on, be sure to comment down below if you got something you want to say. Andrew loves interacting with people. I love interacting with people.
Absolutely.
So feel free to go ahead and do that. So until next time, guys, I'm Professor K for the Pokemon Evolutionaries.
And I'm Andrew for Poketopia.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a great day.